Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Ferguson of South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show, has a message for you.
Everything we do here is fresh and custom made, custom to order. I tell people when they come in, if you don't see what you like, ask somebody. We've got the capability to process it, make it. If you want a different blend of hamburger meat, we'll do your brisket blend. We'll do your chuck blend. We'll do your sirloin blend. We do all that right here. We are a butcher shop. That's what we do. So please don't be afraid to ask if you don't see what you like. We can make you any size patty you want. We can make you any amount you want. People call me and say, well, how many patties come in the box? Well, ma'am, how many would you like in a box? You want 12, we'll put 12. You want 25, we'll put 25.
That's just one of the many things that South's Finest Meats has to offer, the official butcher shop of the Stingray Show. It's a new year, and now is the best time to review your insurance policies. With a helpful customer service team here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi for all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha Insurance to create a customized plan to protect your family's home and autos. You can stop by his office at 3428 McFarland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or simply call 205-462-8192, or call the number on your screen right there. And remember, with Alpha Insurance, the more you protect it, the more you save. Reach out to the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha today for all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. And with that, we want to welcome you inside the Wednesday edition of the Stingray Show. And Jeff Nee, the Alpha agent, is my agent as well. He is a wonderful one, so make sure you give him a little ring-a-ding and a call today.
I was waiting for you to come up with some cheesy line like, who you going to call?
No.
Here we go, Ray Perkins Jr.
No.
Good morning, Stephen.
How are you, man?
Oh, man, we're here and happy. Hey, Sheila's up with us. Glenn's with us. Good morning, Glenn.
Yep.
Glenn, the big Georgia fan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Sheila, how are you?
Oh, here and happy, man. We don't have a choice, right?
That's right.
I'm here and I'm happy. I don't have a choice.
All right. So, Heath, let's go on ahead and dive into the pre-show of the Stingray Show. What do you want to talk about today?
Oh, man, anything fun. It is very gloomy here. Kay's chiming in. Good morning, Kay. It is very gloomy here. We've had clouds like the last several days. I mean, I'm almost like Kid Rock. I hadn't seen the sunshine in 3 dang days.
Yep.
I mean, Sheryl Crow breaks your heart and you don't get to see the sun, and that's where I'm at right now. I haven't seen the sun in 3 days, Stephen. What's going on? You're the weather guy. When am I going to see the sun?
This weekend, hopefully.
Too long, man.
No.
We speed that up to like next hour.
I'll try to do that. All right. You want to do birthdays? You want to do history or the national day?
Let's get birthdays out of the way.
All right. Let me pull that up then. All right. Today is the birthday of a musician and a founding member of the rock band Styx. It is Dennis DeYoung.
I always liked Styx. I wasn't in love with Styx. I'm still not in love with Styx, but I like Styx. Styx got some great tunes.
Yes.
But I sure don't hate on Styx. But yeah, Styx is fun.
They're a little weird.
Yeah, maybe they're a little European. Let's go with that.
Mr. Roboto.
Again, they had some fun songs.
Yeah.
Like, if they came to Memphis, like, I would think about buying tickets. Like, I'm not going to go stand in line in the rain to get tickets like I would for others.
Yeah.
No one stands in line for tickets in the rain anymore anyways. But, yeah, if you gave me tickets, I'd go. But I don't know if I'd waste my hard-earned money on that one.
Now, Heath, yesterday we had Robert Duvall's passing. We also talked about Gene Hackman and Dustin Hoffman. Can you tell me who major actor with credits including Urban Cowboy, Pulp Fiction, Face Off and Wild Hogs is his birthday today.
Yeah, that would be John Travolta, The Punisher, and he was in other movies, man. The
Grease,
Punisher, Grease.
Grease,
Yeah.
and if you will believe it or not, in the new Capital One commercial that comes around during Christmas time, he is the dancing Santa.
Yeah, and also for the older audience, and I vaguely, barely remember the show, but I remember he was the cool, funny guy. Welcome Back, Cotter, and that theme song to that TV show gets stuck in my head,
Yeah.
and I will sing it for. I don't even know why it gets stuck in my head because no one's played it on the radio, but for some reason I'll start singing "Welcome Back, Cotter." Welcome back. Anyway, John Travolta in that show,
Yes.
and he used to call Mr. Carter. Do you know? Mr. Cartier. Hey, Mr. Cartier. So,
All right.
yeah, John
He
Travolta.
there is a not very successful John Travolta movie that I absolutely love. I would put it in the ranks of a B movie, is what they call them out in Hollywood. It starred him, Uma Thurman, and a very, very young Vince Vaughn and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It is called Be Cool. It also had a cameo by Cedric the Entertainer. If you have not watched Be Cool with John Travolta, Uma Thurman, as well as Dwayne The Rock Johnson, as well as Vince Vaughn and Cedric the Entertainer, that movie will leave you in stitches.
I want to say that movie came out in what, like 97, 98?
Yes.
Yeah, I
That is
remember that
my,
movie. I didn't go see. I was in college.
yeah,
Rock had not. I don't even think the Rock had won a world title yet.
no,
Uh, but I knew who the Rock. I knew who the Rock was, and when
yeah,
I was in junior college back in 1994, because he was wrestling in the Mid South Coliseum on Monday night against Jerry Lawler when there was about 200 people in the stands. We would check the cushions of our couch in the dorm room to come up with $2 because that's how much it cost to get into Memphis wrestling back in the day.
right. But dude, if you haven't watched that movie, you are missing out because the gang that Cedric the Entertainer is in, those guys are absolutely hilarious. He plays a great part.
Is the Rock's character, is he gay in that?
Yes, because he is the bouncer and the protector for Vince Vaughn.
So the Rock plays a gay bouncer to protect Vince Vaughn.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
And then the love interest in the movie is Uma Thurman and John Travolta.
There you go. Dude,
Yep.
just about anything Uma Thurman's in, I like.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Kill Bill 2.
Yeah, I mean, even in the 80s movie, Johnny Be Good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that one or not.
No.
Michael, oh gosh, he was a child actor. He was in, oh my gosh, he was in the original Vacation as Rusty. He was in Breakfast Club. Who am I thinking of? He was in the Halloween movie a couple of years ago.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I need multiple choice. But he plays the number one quarterback recruit in America, and all these schools are recruiting him, and it's absolutely, I mean, it's a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a sports movie; it's a comedy. Robert Downey Jr. is his best friend and the backup quarterback. Yeah, Uma Thurman is his girlfriend in the movie. It's just Anthony Michael Hall. There it is. It came to me. Anthony Michael Hall is the actor who plays Johnny, and his girlfriend is Uma Thurman in the movie. But yeah, she works in the meat department at their local grocery store, and he has to go see her at work. And she gets mad at him and starts throwing like pieces of meat at him. It's funny.
Heath, it is also the birthday. I'm going to run through this one really quick. An actor who became a megastar after his roles in Tex, Rumblefish, and The Outsiders, Matt Dillon.
Wow, Matt Dillon in so many great movies. Something About Mary.
Yeah.
Matt Dillon was, oh man. Matt Dillon did some fun movies. he can play serious, but he is such a great comedic actor as well. He can do physical comedy, which is not the easiest for folks to do, but he can do it, and he's good at it.
All right, Heath, I'm going to be disappointed if you cannot give me this. This one is an American actress who won Miss Memphis as a teenager, and she played in TV in the movie or the TV show Moonlighting. Who am I talking about? Who was born on this day in 1950?
And as a very young boy, I had a huge crush on her. Sybil Shepherd.
Correct.
Yeah, Sybil Shepherd. Lived in Memphis for a long time, even after she made it big.
Yep.
You know, Moonlighting, her co-star was Bruce Willis. And they had such great on-camera chemistry. That was such a fun show.
Yep.
They despise each other still to this day. They don't care for each other.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't like each other. I don't know what the riff was between them. But I'll say this: if I had to pick which one to hang with, I think I might have fun with Bruce. Well, Bruce now not doing too good, but he's in bad health. So, but yeah, how can anyone be mad at Bruce Willis?
I know.
Well, Demi Moore good. She divorced him, so I guess someone could easily get mad at Bruce Willis.
All right. So, Heath, that is going to wrap up the pre-show because standing by is Chris Lee of Southeastern 16. We are going to run an advertising from one of our wonderful advertisers. I'm going to do the open. We will do the rest of the stuff in the post-show after we talk a little SEC, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Moundville has been a name clients can trust. The Bank of Moundville is more than just a bank. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Their unique approach to financial education has always centered around families. They believe that financially strong homes today lay the foundation for a brighter futures for tomorrow's generation. You can call them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is 371-2227 to schedule an appointment to build your financial security. The Bank of Moundville is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. This is the Stingray Show, and coming up on this edition, we have a shakeup atop of the SEC basketball standings as we currently have Florida, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt in your top five. Right there as we move down the stretch towards the SEC tournament. And we had a really fun and exciting opening weekend of college baseball in the opening weekend. Chris Lee of Southeastern 16 is on deck to join us to talk all things SEC basketball and a preview of the weekend ahead for both basketball and baseball right here on this edition of the Stingray Show.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Look out, you're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Heath, Stingray, Here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah. But then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, with the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And with that, we want to welcome you back, and we actually have hunkered down on this hump day, man.
I know. I said that to Glenn.
So that's awesome, man. All right. So, Heath, we actually have quite the shakeup atop the SEC basketball standings. The last time that we checked in with Chris Lee, Texas A&M was atop the league. However, the Aggies, gig 'em, are on a 4-game losing streak, so that puts them way down in the standings. And now your top 5 include number 12 Florida, number 20 Arkansas, number 19 Vanderbilt, unranked Tennessee, and then coming back into the top 25, number 25 Alabama, setting up a huge showdown tonight between Arkansas and Alabama.
Yeah, this is the time of year where it's okay if you're on the bubble,
Yeah,
or if you're in the tournament. It's okay if you kind of hit a skid right now.
Yeah.
Mid-February to late February, you will see some teams hit some skids
yeah,
before they just really turn it around and go through.
Right.
I've seen it 2 trillion times over the years. It's part of college basketball. The great teams that usually advance, they get their bad basketball out of the way now.
yeah,
They get their mistakes out of the way now. So once they do that, then they can just play real solid basketball. Sometimes it means the 6th man is now getting a little bit more playing time. Maybe it means another sub is being moved into the starting lineup. Whatever it might be, you start figuring those things out now. And so I'm not necessarily too concerned with some teams hitting skids. Now, I will say this. If it goes into March and you're hitting the skid, you're not a good basketball team.
right.
Teams have figured you out and you can't get over it. So that's what it is. So right now, a lot of teams in transition, a lot of teams in flux. It's going to be hard to see how this comes out. So I'm not hitting the panic button for Texas A&M, but I'm looking at it. I know where it's at, but I'm not hitting it yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. So I'm really, really looking forward to this last stretch.
Also, did you happen to see what happened last night in the world of the Diamond? We actually had 2 teams lose on the midweek on Tuesday night. We had Auburn get blanked by Cincinnati 8-0 down on the Plains, and we had Missouri drop a game to Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing about those midweek games.
Yep.
It's dangerous for SEC teams. Only reason being is when you play a South Alabama, Troy, Florida Atlantic, whoever, they're going to throw their ace.
Yep.
They're going to throw their best pitcher
Yep.
because they need to get an SEC win. They need to get a win against a team in the top 100 on the road because that really gets some extra points with RPI and everything else. So they're going to try to get that win to build that resume. And so with that, the SEC teams are throwing a midweek guy. They're trying to develop a guy for postseason. They're trying to get a guy ready for conference play. And so, yeah, you're throwing your 4th, 5th best pitcher. They're throwing their best.
Yeah.
And now you're in a situation. So, it's kind of crazy to see. And usually those games, you just got to fight and get to the bullpen. If they got one good arm in the bullpen, look out. Look out. You're in trouble. But, Steven, I can't wait to bring our guest on because I want to talk to him about this. Someone broke it down the other day on a podcast I was listening to, and I can't remember who it was. But they said, you could usually only lose like 2 or 3 midweek games if you really want to host a regional. Now, the numbers can be flubbed because, if you're playing a midweek game against UCLA somewhere in one of these crazy tournaments or whatever, well, they said non-conference game, not midweek games. Right. You can only lose 2 or 3 non-conference games if you still want to host. I was like, yeah, but if you're playing in one of these tournaments out in a major league ballpark and, you're facing UCLA, USC, Texas Tech, the big dogs, you can afford to lose more than 3 and still host. So with that, Chris, good morning. And your thoughts before we get to basketball, how many games roughly can an SEC team lose to non-conference and still host?
Oh, I'd say it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Florida, and like Florida's midweeks are generally really good, right? When everybody else is playing Eastern Michigan, they're playing Stetson or someone like that. That's like a 4-seed conference champion in a good league, or maybe a 3. So I think, and plus, if you just shove on the weekend, sometimes you see teams that just are really good, and for whatever reason, the midweeks they can't solve. I'm sorry to dodge your question. I don't mean to. I mean, I think it just depends on what your composition of the schedule is mostly.
So, Chris, I do have to ask you, last week we brought you on. You were under the weather. You sound like you're feeling better, are you?
Yeah. I think the weather change here, it goes from
Hot to cold.
Well, 20 to 70, back to 30s, and then now rainy. It's you take your vitamins and get your sleep, and you get well. So that's what we've done here.
Chris, we're in the basketball stretch. I'm looking forward. To the SEC tournament a little bit more this year. There's a lot of craziness going on in the SEC this year.
Yeah.
There is a lot of inconsistency. There's some bad teams that could be good that we thought would be good, and we don't know if they haven't figured it out yet, but that leads to upsets, especially in the SEC tournament. These good teams not playing good right now, that leads to upsets in the tournament. This is going to be a crazy tournament, and crazy is what we like when it comes to March. We love the madness. So with that, as a whole with the SEC, who are some teams that you're kind of keeping an extra eye on right now as we head down the stretch that either hasn't put it together or is going through a skid right now, and they're just looking very inconsistent?
Boy, that's a big list. I mean, Florida right now, unquestionably, the class of the league. I do wonder, is Florida going to run in a game in a postseason where it's going to need 3-point shooting that it doesn't have?
Right.
You just, if you could answer those questions, we'd all be rich on a beach somewhere, but we're not. I think Arkansas, looks to me like it could be the best team in the league if it plays to its potential. And
Right.
Arkansas right now has been on a stretch where it's playing pretty well. It's won 6 of 7. The one misfire was against Kentucky in Fayetteville, and I don't think Kentucky is frankly all that great. Maybe a solid, good team, but I look at the parts, and I don't think there's a team that's equipped to make like a Final Four type run, and that's your loss. I mean, and you do look at their schedule. A lot of the wins lately have come against the better part of the schedule, so there is that. But you got Darius Acuff, who's a super, super talented point guard, maybe the best player in the league, and you got some bigs and some talented guys elsewhere. They've always got a chance. They're going to have to defend better. I think Vanderbilt is interesting.
Right.
It has learned to play without 2 of its 3-point guards. I don't think Frankie Collins is coming back. I do think that they'll get Duke Miles back within a week or so. He will change the composition of their team markedly. In the meantime, they've learned to be a very different team. They've learned to slow it down. They've gotten bigger. They've gotten contributions for A.K. Karaki and Tyler Nickel and Jalen Washington. And like you've seen nights where they've really stepped up, including Saturday when Tyler Tanner, who'd been so consistent, gets 4 points and gets in foul trouble, and they beat Texas A&M with forwards bringing the ball up the court because that's what they had left. So I think they get Miles back and get a chance to reassemble and play the way they did at the first of the season, where they're playing really fast and getting steals and getting easy dunks on the other end. You might be looking at a different Vanderbilt team than you're seeing, and the one in the meantime that's not Vanderbilt is playing well. Alabama is starting to play better without Charles Bediako, and maybe getting a little better on the defensive end. I think Tennessee is in a weird spot where Nate Ament was the piece that Tennessee really needed to come together for them. He's looking like that NBA guy now. But when he started taking more of the scoring load, in some ways they got worse. But I think that's a team with a lot of pieces. Texas is starting to play really well. It's got a lot of talent. I think, to me, those are the teams that you really circle at the top. I've got my issues with Kentucky. I just don't think that the offense can score it consistently and from as many ways as you need to. So A&M, I think, has hit its ceiling, is heading downwards. I think Bucky McMillan did a tremendous job with that team. Missouri, God knows on any given night which team's going to show up. They don't defend consistently.
Right.
Just when I counted Georgia out, they go to Lexington and win for the first time in almost a couple of decades. Auburn can't find consistency, and then the bottom five, Oklahoma might be the team. Hey, look, they didn't shut it down. When they lost 9 in a row, they came in and beat Vandy and now won it 2 in a row. So I don't know if there's enough, they've done so much damage. I don't know if there's enough for a run without running the table. But to me, it's that 5 or 6 teams I mentioned at first that I've really got the eye on. And I think all those teams could do things for different reasons.
Chris, let's rewind, because I know that it is Wednesday of a new week, but let's rewind to the opening weekend of SEC baseball on the diamond. What surprised you the most this past weekend with college baseball?
Well, that's the easiest question you'll answer me all day, because it was Oklahoma. I'd said before the season, I looked at everybody's roster backwards, forwards, and sideways, and I said, I see 13 teams that are regional teams and three teams that are, not, in my mind, not regional teams. But I said one of them had a chance if some things went well, and that was Oklahoma. I just didn't think the pitching had performed at a level. I look at what have you done. I don't really want to hear a lot about, well, this guy's got potential. I don't want to hear it as a strong term, right? Because guys do improve, but I'm the guy that is skeptical until I see it. Well, Oklahoma's pitching was lights out the first weekend. I knew its lineup would be pretty good, but you saw Cam Johnson able to throw strikes maybe for the first time in his career. He looked like the first-round guy that he was coming out of high school 3 years ago. They had a freshman, Cord Rager, who pitched really well in Game 3, and then in between, UNLV transfer L.J. Mercurius was stellar. I think he earned SEC Pitcher of the Week honors. So the bullpen, I thought, would be the strength of that pitching staff. It was good. So now I'm looking at Oklahoma and saying, hey, look, this is the team. I like the lineup. I just didn't believe in the starting pitching. The starting pitching was better than anybody's in the league this weekend. So I think you have to – it's 4 games into the season, and anything can happen. It can go badly. But I think you have to seriously evaluate Oklahoma based on what you saw in the first weekend.
All right, Chris, moving back to the hardwood tonight, Tuscaloosa, Alabama will be rocking in Coleman Coliseum as Alabama, now ranked 25th, welcomes in 20th ranked Arkansas in a 19-6 versus 18-7 matchup at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Break down the incredible matchup of Alabama and Nate Oates versus John Calipari and Arkansas.
No, I think incredible is a good word for it. I think you could see these teams score a ton of points.
Yeah.
They're getting better defensively, but defense is neither team's hallmark. I think you got ball handling guards and Philon for Alabama and Holloway that can give Acuff, a run for their money. Defensively, can they get stops? I don't know. You got talented big men inside. I think if Arkansas's big, who escapes my name, Trevon Brazile, shows up, he's kind of been a wild card for them at times. He can really take over and win games for them. With no Bediako, does he come up against as much resistance? Maybe not, but Alabama does still have some talented bigs. I think it's a fascinating matchup. I think it'll be one of your must-see games in the SEC this year.
Who wins?
Oh, gosh. Give me Alabama at home. They went through a stretch where they didn't win, but, typically Alabama protects that home court pretty well.
Right.
And again, it does feel like, with 4 wins in a row. And, again, some of that against the weekend of the schedule, but you did get Auburn at their place. I don't care what you think of Auburn and its inconsistency. Auburn's going to be up for that one. I'll take Alabama by virtue of home, but man, we have had a wild number of road teams win this year.
Yes.
Chris, looking at baseball real quick, we don't know what anybody has. We have an idea. You can believe all the hype that you want to preseason, what coaches say, what D1.
Did we lose him?
Yep. Heath, for some reason, just ducked out. His internet was having issues. So, Chris, let's go ahead and jump back into baseball, if you don't mind. Give
Yeah.
us a couple of teams really quick that you think should be on upset alert going into the second weekend of SEC baseball.
Well, first of all, I like Heath's question where it was going to go. I
Right.
think where I knew it was going to go. It is very unpredictable because I've looked at these teams backwards, forwards, and sideways, every roster, down to what I could learn about the freshmen. And we saw some things the first weekend that I didn't think we'd see. Auburn I thought would be led by the offense. I thought the starting pitching was a question. I was just on another show with Butch Thompson, and he's kind of befuddled. He thought their offense would be their strong suit, and the starting pitching that I thought we'd see was the midweek pitching, and the guys that I had questions about were the guys that were great for them this weekend in starting roles on the mound. Mississippi State struggled to score runs over the weekend.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming, but a lot of build up to the season and a lot of pressure there. LSU's top-end starting pitching was not what I thought it would be. Vanderbilt's a team built on pitching, and I thought the bullpen would be one of the better parts of that team.
Mm-hmm.
It stunk this weekend. Vanderbilt was the team that everybody said nobody can hit home runs. They're not hitting home runs. They got 14 through 4 games. I don't know if that leads the country, but it's close. So I would emphasize that. Like, these teams are a work in progress. It's a small sample size. What you're seeing now may not be what you see
right
for good, but there are some things that you have to pay attention to early and say, hey, look, maybe these things are things that carry forward. So upset alert for this weekend. If you'll give me just a minute to pull up the schedule.
Okay.
I think that is going to be, like, who do they play? Not a lot of just like marquee series this week. And I do think Auburn playing in a neutral site event with Kansas State, which is red hot. Florida State and Louisville. Louisville had a really bad first weekend. Lost a series to Michigan State. Didn't see that coming. Auburn's got to get the bats in order before it hits the road. Got shut out yesterday. So I think be careful with Auburn. I think there's a really good team in there, but right now they're just not figuring it out. So I would say that one. LSU's got Indiana, Notre Dame, and UCF. I think LSU is really, really talented, but Cason Evans and William Schmidt just did not pitch the way that their talent indicates they can pitch. Again, one weekend, we'll see what goes on there. I think you look across the league, there's some interesting series. I don't know if Michigan State's any good or not, but it was good last weekend. Yeah. They get a Texas team that I think is playing as well as anybody. A&M gets a Penn team that gave it trouble a year ago, but that team's really hitting the ball well.
Chris, you hit the mute button, man.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't know how that happened. But, where was the last thing you heard me? Oh, well, Arkansas's got Xavier this weekend.
Yes.
I don't think that Xavier comes in and pulls an upset, but that's a team that's been scrappy in regionals at times. Florida's got Kennesaw State. There's a ton of talent in Georgia. Florida struggled on Friday night with Liam Peterson.
Right.
Stanford, Georgia's got them. They've been tough at times. Evansville got to Super 2 years ago. They got a Kentucky team that's lost its best player in Tyler Bell for the foreseeable future and lost a midweek game. I think that's a lot of them right there, but there's some interesting series coming up. I don't know that they're necessarily even matchups, but in baseball, anything can happen. And there's several mid-majors there. Missouri State, another one. Ole Miss has got them. They're pretty good a lot of years. There's a lot of teams out there that are not as good as the teams they're going to face, but can sneak up and get you on a weekend.
Heath, you're back with us. You froze. Go ahead with your question, my friend.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened. We're having all kinds of fun tech problems today. Chris, I know we can't tell anything first week of baseball. We won't know anything until the third week of conference play till we really start figuring these teams out in the SEC, what they really do have, what they don't, where are they strong at, what they aren't. Was there anything this past weekend that caught your eye for any team in the SEC and you're like, Interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on that, whether it be position battle, pitching, depth in the bullpen, power at the plate, whatever it might be. What caught your attention in the SEC this past weekend?
Well, I answered a little bit of that when you froze because I thought I knew where your question was going, but I'll give you a few more. And the ones I touched on mostly were Oklahoma and LSU. But I'll give you a few things that I didn't hit on. I think Arkansas's top end pitching can be really elite.
Yeah.
They've got an issue with Aloy's got a shoulder injury, or I can't remember what it is. He may be out a while. I haven't heard the latest update. That's their best power threat. I have a few questions about their lineup, although they got on base a lot and did okay. But I think their top end guys like Gackle and Dietz wasn't good this weekend, but they took 2 out of 3 in Arlington without him. Tate McGuire gave them perfect innings in Arlington. That was something that caught my eye. Cole Gibbler, I think, is as talented as any pitcher in the league. He's kind of that middle relief, maybe Kevin Kopp's guy for them right now. So with the big time arms they've got to stay healthy. You know, they had injuries to Carson Wiggins last year, but the way they pitched in Arlington caught my eye a bit. I think the way Florida played outside its opening day game where Liam Peterson was, again, just not very good when the world was focusing in on a little bit on Friday night. The rest of the weekend went really well for them.
Right.
They pitched well outside of Peterson. You got Brennan Lawson suddenly playing shortstop. And Sam Miller, who was the preseason player of the year, the last year's player of the year in the Ivy League, was supposed to be the shortstop. Nowhere to be seen this weekend. Don't know what's going on there. Georgia pitched better than I thought it would. That was my question. Kenny Ishikawa, the two-way guy, was great. The Tyler Bell injury to Kentucky is concerning, but their pitching has been really good so far, at least until yesterday. And I think Ole Miss pitched it really well this weekend. Not the kind of competition that it's going to see in the SEC, but Nevada's better than most of the teams in the league that didn't play in these tournament events hosted. Keep an eye on that one. And I would say look at South Carolina. Paul Maneri's remarks coming out of the weekend about getting guys bought in and focused were a little concerning.
Right.
And then there's Texas, which kind of quietly went out and beat UC Davis, and I think won a midweek yesterday maybe. I'd have to look that one up. But, Texas has been really, really solid so far, and maybe the team with the fewest flaws to pick, I think, early.
Chris, my final thing, Saturday, there's one hardwood college basketball game I want to talk with you about, and it is the nightcap in the SEC. It is the team that has lost 2 straight, Kentucky, going down to the team that has lost 4 straight in Auburn. It is Kentucky, it is Auburn. In Auburn, break down that game for us, please.
I'm going to give you an answer, and I'm kind of saying this in fun, but almost seriously. I mean, flip a coin.
Yes.
I don't have any idea. I really don't. I mean, if Keyshawn Hall seems like he's been in the doghouse for Auburn lately, but if Keyshawn Hall comes out and gives them 30 points,
right,
Auburn probably wins the game. I've not been a believer in Kentucky since December. I think it's a very flawed team. I just don't think the guys that they've got are guys that are usually wearing the Kentucky uniform. But on the other hand, they'd made a pretty good run. They'd won, 8 of 9 games. In the middle of there was a blowout at Vanderbilt where they just no-showed. They beat Tennessee for the second time. That is a weird series. They've just got a hex on Tennessee.
Yeah.
And they go and lose at Florida, not unexpected. They're competitive, and then they lose to Georgia at home last night for the first game, first time since 2009. Auburn's lost 4 in a row, but we've seen stretches where they lost 3 or 4, and they are just wildly inconsistent. I mean, gosh, I guess if you made me make a pick, I might go Kentucky because Kentucky has been a little more consistent than Auburn. And Auburn has not defended its home floor. They've lost 4 of their last 6 there, which was weird. I mean, this has just got weirdness all over it. I hope I would not have to have my life depending on making a pick in that game. I guess if I had to, I take Kentucky, but nothing is going to surprise me.
Chris, thank you as always. Have a good week covering both sports of college baseball and college basketball. And briefly, as we walk out the door, give us your thoughts on the opening weekend of baseball for the Vandy boys, the other team that you cover.
Yeah, not what I expected. The
Okay.
pitching wasn't real good. I think their starting pitching will be okay. Although Connor Fennell gave up a couple long balls and a couple more that might have left the yard in a college yard. So I'm a little concerned there. Second year around the league, could he fall off a little bit? I think their bullpen is going to get better. No, the shocker has been they've hit 14 home runs in 4 games. They have Colin Barcy hit 3 on opening day. All 3 of them went 430 plus. They think they finally tapped into the power potential that he had when he was a big draft prospect. And Brody Johnson has hit 5 home runs in 4 games.
Right.
He's one of the better power hitters in the country, potentially, if he can make contact. He struck out once in 4 games. That's something to really keep an eye on, because if Brody Johnson makes contact, you're looking at a guy that is going to be probably in that player of the year discussion in the SEC. And who knows, maybe nationally.
Right. Chris, thank you, man. This has been fun. We will catch up with you next week, okay?
Always enjoy being with you guys. God bless you. Have a great rest of your week.
You too. Thank you.
I'm the same, Chris. Take care, brother.
All right, Heath, that is going to wrap up the nuts and bolts and the hard talk of the Stingray Show, talking about basketball and baseball. When we come back on the other side of this, we're going to finish up the show in the post show with the national history of today and the national day of today, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, we got to go fast. I got to hit the road. I got to take my daughter on her college visit. So yeah, run the commercial. Let's do it.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Moundville has been a name clients can trust. The Bank of Moundville is more than just a bank. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Their unique approach to financial education has always centered around families. They believe that financially strong homes today lay the foundation for a brighter futures for tomorrow's generation. You can call them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is 371-2227 to schedule an appointment to build your financial security. The Bank of Moundville is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. And we want to welcome you back to the post show of the Stingray Show. Heath, let's go on ahead and do the national day of today. And I am not going to partake in this, but I know a lot of people will be partaking in this. It is National Drink Wine Day.
a lot of soccer moms will do it. Hey, our good friend Mario, all SEC player, Mario Austin, chiming in. Good morning, Mario. We hope that you have a great day as well. So, Mario's posts have been popping up a lot on my timeline. Been enjoying Mario's stuff. Been talking a lot about Black history lately. Post some fun stuff from his college days. But yeah, appreciate Mario always chiming into the show.
Yep.
Yeah, I got nothing for you on Wine Day, brother.
All right. It is also National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day for anybody who wants to eat fish today.
Oh man, you make me want to go down to Dewey Destin right now and have a little bit of that. You know, they've got a wonderful smoked amberjack sandwich. Don't go to the restaurant side, go to the dock side across the street. Order that smoked amberjack sandwich. But yeah, crab stuffed. What was it? Flounder. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's some good stuff.
All right. And Heath, is also Ash Wednesday.
Yep. We're supposed to remember all the people that we lost, all the loved ones and friends and that we lost here in the past year.
Right.
And think of them and honor them here on Ash Wednesday. So yeah, we lost some family members and things here this past year. So not the best of time, but you're supposed to remember the good times that you had with them here on Ash Wednesday.
All right, Heath, we're going to run through the national history of today rather quick on your request. Can you tell me what major book was published on this day in 1885?
Ooh, 1885. Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis. I have no idea.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Mark Twain. There you go.
Yes.
Wow. So now Huck Finn came after Tom Sawyer, I think. So Tom Sawyer and then Huck Finn. But wow.
Yep.
That's,
All right.
That is impressive.
You notice that I've got the background of space today. Can you tell me what planet was discovered this day in 1930?
Was it Pluto? And then we took it away? Yeah, it was a planet, and now it's not a planet. But how can you call it a planet and then say, no, it's not a planet anymore? Right. I don't know.
Yeah. So Pluto was discovered originally on this day in 1930. All right. Can you tell me what American rock band performed their first concert in their hometown venue in New York City in 77?
I know the Ramones. Well, I thought the Ramones were a little bit before then. I don't think it's Kiss. Kiss was before then. There's so many great bands out of New York. Who was it?
I want to rock and roll all night.
It was Kiss.
Yes. They performed their first concert at Madison Square Garden in New York City.
Wow.
Kiss has only been around since 77.
Wow, I thought they formed kind of in the mid 70s, and mid meaning like 73, 74, and took off toward the late 70s, but I guess not.
Right. All right, 2 things left. Can you tell me what major TV ads started airing for the first time in 1986?
Wendy's, where's the beef? I have no idea.
Anti-smoking ads.
Really? I would have guessed that came later in the 90s, but wow. So the first anti-smoking ad was on this day back in 1986.
Yes.
Would not have guessed that.
Yes.
Big Tobacco was very much in charge.
Heath, we're going to end on something funny. In 1856, can you tell me what party convenes in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and nominates its first presidential candidate, and he ultimately becomes the president of the United States?
Is it the Whig Party or the Green Party? Oh, what is it?
The American Party, also known as the Know-Nothings.
Not much has changed, Stephen.
And their candidate was Millard Fillmore.
Wow. Interesting.
The American Party, the Know-Nothings. I thought you would like that.
I do like that. That sounds like a name of a great band, by the way.
The Know-Nothings. Let's go. All right. So, Heath, that is going to wrap up another edition of the Stingray Show. Hopefully, you have a wonderful day down in Starkville, Mississippi, your old stomping grounds and my stomping grounds as well, with your daughter down there on her official visit. And we will be back tomorrow morning with another Stingray Show, and also many prayers to your mother on her surgery today.
Yeah, she is waiting right now. I've been looking at the phone. She hasn't gone back yet. They were there this morning before 6 o'clock. So they're just waiting. And hopefully she gets her vision back. She might get it back today. It might be a couple of days. It might not come back at all, but we're all hoping for the best.
Yes.
But thank you, Stephen.
So many prayers to all of you guys. We will be thinking about y'all today, and we will catch you on the Thursday edition of the Stingray Show. Heath, get out of here because I don't want to make you late.
Sayonara. Good Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you, man. Be safe in your travels down to Start Vegas. It's a new year, and now is the best time to review your insurance policies. With a helpful customer service team here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi. For all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha Insurance to create a customized plan to protect your family's home and autos. You can stop by his office at 3428 McFarland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or simply call 205-462-8192, or call the number on your screen right there. And remember, with Alpha Insurance, the more you protect it, the more you save. Reach out to the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha today for all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Ferguson of South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show, has a message for you.
Everything we do here is fresh and custom made, custom to order. I tell people when they come in, if you don't see what you like, ask somebody. We've got the capability to process it, make it. If you want a different blend of hamburger meat, we'll do you a brisket blend. We'll do you a chuck blend. We'll do you a sirloin blend. We do all that right here. We are a butcher shop. That's what we do. So please don't be afraid to ask if you don't see what you like. We can make you any size patty you want. We can make you any amount you want. People call me and say, well, how many patties come in the box? Well, ma'am, how many would you like in a box? You want 12, we'll put 12. You want 25, we'll put 25.
That's just one of the many things that South's Finest Meats has to offer, the official butcher shop of the Stingray Show.